Hey, good morning, everybody. Let's catch the GP40 pulling a train into Chillicothe, do some switching this morning. As usual, we're going to start out with Union Spring. Sometimes I find, for some reason, that I lose the bell on my NCE system. So when I went to play the bell, didn't play. I just thought, well, I'll just go ahead and do it anyhow. I did reset it mid session, so you'll hear it later on. But normally I always play the bell, backing down the spur on Union Spring. Actually, I was trying to reprogram the horn. Did it once before. I don't really like this horn. I can't remember how to do it. So I finally gave up, but I think that's how I lost the bell. Pretty simple. We just had to pull the gondola and we'll back it down onto the train, and then we'll pull up and put the full gondola in. So I had a comment recently that this person didn't like using the uncoupling picks. They preferred the magnets. I think it was in response to what I said when I cut off all my trip pins. And they thought that using the uncoupling by hand was, I think their words were sort of primitive. But I like the flexibility of being able to uncouple anywhere on the layout. And you don't have the accidental uncoupling too that you might have with the magnets. So to each their own. I mean, I'm not saying this is the best method. It's just my method, and I like it. So, you know, I've talked about before, I'm always going to have hand-thrown switches and uncouple by hand, because it just makes me feel like I'm as part of the operating session. So since Wherever only had one car to switch, sometimes I'll break it up into 2 sessions, but I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and make one a little bit longer session. So I'm going to go through back through the crossover and go ahead and switch out the one car at Wherever. I'll change the camera angle here so you can see it a little bit better. Pretty easy and quick job. All we have to do is pick up the car in spot 1. This engine only stalled one time on me, and that was actually at the grade crossing. Sometimes, you know, I have trouble cleaning the tracks. So, you know, you just have to really focus on getting the rails at the grade crossings, because you're trying not to damage the road. You know, you don't want to damage the asphalt. Otherwise, it ran perfect. So drop on the N&W boxcar, and then we'll pull up and spot the other boxcar at spot 1. Now, when I was actually going to cross over to the track to switch wherever, I could have pulled straight forward and then back down instead of doing like the zigzag switching. But I would have hit the camera if I'd have done that. I hadn't moved the camera yet, so that's why I didn't pull forward. My layout's not supposed to be a switching puzzle. It's supposed to represent the real life trackage, so. But sometimes the camera gets in the way. I'm trying to get right in on the shots, so. So we're going to cross back over to the passing siding, what used to be the westbound main, but now it's just a passing siding. You know, I'm a big subscriber to Lance Bendheim's switching methods, but you know, since I'm filming it, I try not to like sit there for 30 seconds before moving. You know, it's probably a little bit faster than I would normally do it if I wasn't filming. Just checking the turnout to make sure that it wasn't lined the wrong way like my last session. So this last thing I'm going to do here, I'm just going to pull the whole train up past the crossover so I can run around the train. And then I'll do the rest of the switching in the next session. Overall, very pleased with how the engine ran. I did get the slide repaired today, and I was up there standing on it, so I think it's pretty solid. And I'm going to leave the riprap and stuff down at the bottom as sort of a reminder that I had a slide there at one time. And while I was at it, I went ahead and did some maintenance work on the upper loop over here too. Here comes Ferdinand letting the head rub. So it's almost time to cover the pond because the leaves get in the pond from this tree here. So almost time. Put the net on this next week. So I think it's Ferdinand and I are going to head inside for the evening. Post this in the morning. So everybody stay safe.